Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia and welcome back to Overwatch. Gosh darn it, 3 videos in a day. But hey, we got the fabled dev update that we've been waiting for months. The Emon wink was correct. We've got a massive dev update from Jeff Kaplan, and this dev update, it's not a new hero, but this dev update changes Overwatch. And it really does, especially competitive, right? So, first of all, they got the experimental card, which will be coming to Overwatch in the next couple of months or so. So, the experimental card is basically them putting significant changes as a card option on the live servers instead of it being on the PTR. Because the whole idea of the PTR didn't work. There was not enough people playing the PTR, console players couldn't pay the PTR. The experimental card will be baked into the live game. You will be able to select it. I think it's going to be alongside competitive and quick play. I think it's going to be on there, not in the arcade. So it will be right in your face when you go to play the game. So you will be able to test quite drastic changes that might not go to quick play and competitive and the arcade, but you'll be able to test them in the live game. And not only that, this is not PC only. This will be going to console. So Nintendo Switch players, PS4 players, Xbox One players will be able to test these changes on there as well, which is something they have never ever been able to do before, which is fantastic. It's great that we can make this community more inclusive of the testing phase of some of these changes, because I kind of feel sorry for the console players, right? Even though I don't play on console. I do have a Switch with Overwatch, but I don't play it all that much. But I feel sorry for them because they just get dumped with these updates that we've been testing, if you chose to go on the PTR, and they just get dumped with it and they haven't tested it and they have no idea what's going on. So I kind of feel sorry for them. This will probably kill the PTR. Yeah, it'll probably kill the PTR. I'll probably uninstall the PTR once the experimental card comes along. But the experimental card won't be a permanent thing. It'll pop up every time they've got something for us to test. So I think that's pretty cool. And they said it's not for bug changes. It's not stuff like that. This is stuff that will heavily impact the game. So I think this is pretty cool. Stuff in the experimental card would have been like the experiment with a roll queue that was on the PTR. That would have been on the experimental card, I would imagine. And stuff like that will go to the experimental card in the future instead of going to the PTR. So, then we have a massive announcement. Now, this is competitive only. This does not affect quick play. This does not affect the arcade. This is purely competitive. This is hero pools. So, this is really interesting. Hero pools, people have called for hero bans for a very long time. And this is not hero bans, but it's something incredibly similar. So, hero bans is a system, if you've played League of Legends and stuff like that, where at the start of a match, you will select heroes to ban, to not be able to be used in the match. This is not us selecting the heroes to not be used. These hero pools will be changed, I think Jeff had said every week, which is incredibly frequently compared to what we're used to. And his example was, I think he gave like 5 heroes that wouldn't be in the meta, so you could ban Sigma, Orisa, Mei, Moira. That would rock Overwatch. That would completely mess up competitive. It would be a mess, but it would be a fun mess. It would be really fun. Now, hero pools, I am actually amazingly surprised that they are going to change them so often at the early phase. So, as I said, Jeff, I believe, said they were going to change them weekly. I was expecting if they did something like this, that they would change them seasonally. So every season you get a new hero pool. This is very, very interesting, and this is kind of something along the lines I speculated back along when we were having a discussion about changes that Overwatch needed. I kind of speculated a system where we could vote. The Overwatch devs gave us a vote on who to ban for a certain season, and then they banned them for the entire season. They haven't given us the vote, but it's the same thing, just without the vote. That's what it is. But it's just going to be done weekly instead of seasonally. And I think this will stir things up. This won't come in immediately. This will come in for Season 21. And Season 21 it's going to be messed up, I would imagine. Now, take, for example, the season when Roll Q went live. It's probably going to be a little bit like that. It's going to be all over the place. There is not going to be a meta, because, especially not on the PTR, especially not on live, because there won't be enough time. You look at the live servers right now, we've just had the big patch which nerfs Orisa Sigma. So, on the PTR, the general consensus was the tank meta was Rein Diva, which is something we've actually not really seen before. That is creeping in, but to be quite honest, it takes about a week, if not more, for metas to settle in. They will not get that time with these hero pool changes. It will be, hey, this week you are not playing Orisa Sigma, because you can't play Orisa Sigma. You've got to know what you're going to pick in that week. You've got to know that, well, this week we're going to go dive. So we're going to go Winston Diva, or Winston Hammond, or Hammond Diva. Next week you could be playing Ryan Zarya all the time. Next week, the week after, you could be playing Orisa Sigma. It is a drastic change. And I use tanks as an example because it's used this example. For example, in support, it's a bit different with DPS. Because with DPS you've got quite a lot of options. So, say if you wanted a sniper but Widowmaker wasn't available, you could go Hanzo, or you could go Ashe. Imagine if they did a hero pool where they banned all the snipers. I don't think they'd ever do that. I think that's going to be something they're going to avoid, because that's the kind of unique thing you've got in the DPS category. You've got some heroes that kind of can cross over. Now, the meta will change up very significantly. There won't be a meta, as I said just now. It'll just change up the way the game is played on competitive for an incredible amount. And do you know what the most interesting thing is? And I'll be most interested in this for obvious reasons in the channel and that. This is not just for competitive. This is for the Overwatch League as well. They will be going with their own version of hero pools. And they will be doing blogs and stuff like that on how they adapt to it. This is going to be incredible. This is going to keep the Overwatch League fresh. We are not going to be stuck in a single meta like we were for 3 stages nearly in 2019 with GOATs. We will not be stuck in that. We will not be stuck in Orisa Sigma. We will be changing things up. We will probably see Dive at some point. We will see Orisa Sigma, but that's okay if we see it for a little bit, but not ages. And then we'll see Rein Diva. It'll be Rein Diva and then Rein Zarya maybe or something. It'll be incredible. It'll keep the game so fresh. It'll make it interesting to play. And this is just really, really good. This could be more influential than Roll Q. And I'm not even kidding. Hero pools could be more influential than Roll Q. And he said, we will experiment with this for Season 21. And he said, we can iterate on this. We can make the hero pools change every match, which would be bonkers. That would be basically hero bans. Then he said we can make it... They can change the intervals at which the hero pools change. So they could do it every 2 weeks, every month, every season, every match, every 2 matches. But they will work out and look to see where the kind of the right spot is for that sort of change. I don't know whether a week or every week might be a bit too fast. We will see. I don't know whether every 2 weeks might have been the better spot. But this is definitely a fantastic change to the game. This is going to keep things so fresh, not just for competitive and people playing on live servers, but also in the Overwatch League as well. It's going to keep that fresh. And I presume hero pools will also go to contenders, tier 2, tier 3. It's going to keep things so fresh, so interesting. It's going to make Overwatch engaging once more. And that's what we need to see. Now, none of this, I think, is coming immediately. But it's coming very soon. And this is really, really awesome. And another thing that Jeff said is that they are going to be very aggressive with balanced patches. Now, we could kind of suspect this when we look at what's been happening in the past couple of weeks. We have had about 3 patches in 2 weeks. 2 patches in 2 weeks, 3 patches in 2 weeks. That's bonkers. That is absolutely bonkers. And they are going to keep doing this. They are going to be aggressive. They are going to nerf some people, buff some others, just to completely change things up, keep things rolling, keep things fresh. This is exactly what Overwatch has needed for a very long time. And a lot of people will say this right now, especially when they're playing at the high levels of the game, but I see it as well. It's not just that it'd be nice to have a new hero, but too often, new heroes have come into the game and broken the game. Look at Brigitte, look at Sigma, look at Baptiste. They've come in and very often they've been broken. I don't think we need a new hero. We just need Overwatch to be fresh. And Overwatch can be fresh and engaging with the heroes it's got, with what it's got. So this is a big dev update. A very big dev update. Alongside the changes that we've had in recent weeks, we are looking at a very different Overwatch going into the next couple of months, especially when hero pools go live in March, which is when Season 21 will start. So you're looking at another month on the current patch, which is going to change up anyway because Orisa Sigma is nowhere near as strong as it was. So you're looking at a meta for about a month, and then at the end of the season, Season 21 comes in, and then we will have hero pools, which will change up things completely. So now we take a look at the Overwatch League specifically, because they have also come out with an announcement about the hero pools. So they will not be doing hero pools before it goes to competitive. So they will start hero pools on March the 7th. And it gives us a very good insight into what we can expect for competitive as well. So they said, starting March the 7th, the Overwatch League will make 1 tank, 1 support, and 2 damage heroes unavailable for selection during matches each weekend. The heroes will be randomly selected from a group of eligible heroes based on play rate data from the previous 2 weeks of Overwatch League matches. Only heroes that are being played regularly can be pulled from the next hero pool. That's a very wise decision. No hero will be unavailable 2 weeks in a row. Again, a very wise decision. Hero pools will not be used for mid-season tournaments to play in tournament, playoffs or grand finals. All heroes will be available for those matches. Interesting, so we will be able to see perhaps a meta develop in the playoffs or the grand finals. Interesting one, that one. Teams will be informed of each week's hero pool approximately 1 week in advance of matches. Our expectation is that a rotating hero pool for Overwatch League matches will foster a wider range of team strategies and showcase more heroes in competition as players adapt and teams experiment with new compositions when some of the most played heroes are no longer options. This is fantastic. I love the insight here, and it'll make things so interesting. This is what made the Overwatch League suffer last year, is just the stagnation of the meta made the games boring to watch. So this has definitely really helped with that. They go on to talk about the game updates, and this is something we wanted to know actually, because there's no stage format in the Overwatch League this year. So what they traditionally did was update every stage. That won't be happening now with no stages. We wanted to know what the update schedule would be, and here it is. So in January, we've deployed several quick patches to update to the game, including, for the first time, balance updates to the live patch. What it means by that is that we had the significant patch, and then a couple of days ago, Tuesday actually, another update went live, but there was no download for it. It was a hotfix. The massive Sigma Orisa changes were a hotfix, not an update, and it went to live servers just immediately. I think that's a fantastic way of doing it, and I really love to see that that's going to be a thing in the future. So they say, we wanted to give Overwatch League fans some visibility into how future patches will be integrated into pro play. Our overall goal is to move balance updates as quickly as we can from live game servers to Overwatch League matches. Whenever live game receives a new patch, the Overwatch League will begin playing on that patch 2 weekends later. Any mid-patch updates to the game that go into effect during a match weekend, that was like the hotfix that happened on Tuesday, will be deployed for Overwatch League matches the following weekend. So they will be basically into action as soon as possible, and that is really good. They go on to say, please note that hero pool and patching/update formats could be revised at any point during the season. We will listen closely to fans and players, learn from our collective experiences, consider adjustments and test new strategies along the way. We can't wait for the 2020 season to get started, and we look forward to hearing the community's feedback. This is really good. This is really good. I suggest you go and check out the developer update from Jeff. It's 11 minutes long, and also the announcement on the Overwatch League website as well. These are massive changes that will make Overwatch so much fresher to play, so much more interesting to play. And one thing that we haven't touched on and something that the Overwatch devs have had a problem with for a long time, and the game has had a problem with for a long time, is one-tricking. This is going to hurt one-trickers badly. If you one-trick a hero, you are going to need to learn other heroes. Otherwise, there are going to be weeks where you are not going to know what you're doing. You're going to basically not be able to play the game. You're going to have to learn several heroes so that you can adapt to these hero pools. Because otherwise, one week you're so powerful, the next week you're not going to know your, pardon for a better expression, but your ass from your elbow. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens when this goes live. But I'm excited for it. This is going to be really interesting. I want to go and play some D.Va because D.Va's meta again, or nearly meta again anyway. But I'm going to leave it here. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video. See you then.